and an individual approaches me. He hands me an invitation, and I look at the invitation, and it's a wedding, mashallah. And the wedding was scheduled for June of 2018. He was handing me an invitation for the wedding over a year in advance. And subhanAllah, the first thing that I thought of was how excited must a person be to think and plan. And if you've ever been part of a wedding plan, it takes up a big majority of your energy and your resources and your time. And this person has started the process of planning their wedding over a year in advance. And I thought to myself that this reminds me of a beautiful characteristic that the Sahaba had. Not for weddings, but for Ramadan. That when you think of the month of Ramadan, a lot of us, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to see Ramadan. We look at our calendars, we look at our watches, and we fail to realize sometimes until it's too late that Ramadan is approaching very quickly. That the first night of Taraweeh will be 2 weeks from today, inshallah ta'ala. If the, calendar suggests it. And we think to ourselves, man, it feels like we just did Eid. It feels like Ramadan just ended. I can't believe another year of Taraweeh, another year of Iftar, another year of Dua, another year of Quran. And when we look at the culture of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, as interesting as excited as this brother was for the wedding of his child, the Sahaba had a very similar outlook with their month of Ramadan. The narrations tell us that after the month of Ramadan finished, the companions would pray as a part of their daily supplication, their daily dua. They would pray to Allah, "Oh Allah, accept from us our Ramadan," for 6 months. They would be so concerned that their Ramadan was not accepted that they would actually spend the next 6 months, 180 days, asking Allah, "Oh Allah, accept our Ramadan." And this culture of asking Allah to accept is from the prophetic culture. Allahumma taqabbal minna. That when we ask Allah to accept, and you know what that acceptance or that asking, you know what it represents? It represents a state of humility. That the person realizes that Allah has the ability, if He so chooses, and if He looks at the work that we've done, to not accept it. One of my teachers in school, she used to say, if your paper has any mark in it, any crease, any wrinkle, anything, I'm not going to take it. And we would say, why? All the work is done. She says, because when you fold your paper, when you roll your paper, it's a sign that you don't care about your work. You treat it well if you care about it. So the companions would pray to Allah to accept. Why? Because they cared about their month. It wasn't just an assumption, oh Allah will accept it. Look at what I've done for Allah. 30 days of fasting, 30 days of praying. Wow, I'm a special person. No, they had this sense of humility. And then after those 6 months had passed, they would make this dua. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Oh Allah, allow us to reach Ramadan. Give us the privilege and blessing of being able to experience another Ramadan. And so in that way, if you look at the whole 12-month calendar, their entire year was Ramadan focused. Not a day went by except that they thought about the month of Ramadan. And this reminds me of a beautiful statement of Ibn Ata'illah. He said that if you were to take a bag of gold or diamonds or money, anything that's precious to human beings, if you put it in the middle of a field of cows, they would not have any interest in your gold. But if you took a bag of grass or grain or barley and you put it in that same field of cows, they would be excited and they would be rushing over to the bag to see what it was. But if we put that same bag of grass here and we said, free grass, take some, we would probably end up with the same amount of grass that we started with. But imagine if we put that same bag of gold at the front of the door and said, free gold, take some. The point he's trying to make is that if you don't see something as valuable, then you won't appreciate it. And so our focus and our excitement is dictated by what we value. When you value something, you get excited at the prospect of it. So if we think of Ramadan and there's no sense of excitement, the question we have to ask ourselves is, do we value Ramadan? Is there any value for this month for us? Or is it just a yearly thing that we do? The Sahaba, they valued it. That's why they would pray every day regarding their Ramadan. And that dua that we're going to talk about, Allahumma ballighna Ramadan, there is a sense of desperation when you understand what they're saying. It's not, oh Allah, please give us Ramadan if we can. It's desperation. Oh Allah, if you don't give us Ramadan, I have no idea what I'm going to do. As they're opening their hands praying for this month, they're thinking about the last 11 months where shaitan has influenced them and trained them, and there's a long list of deficiencies that they have with their relationship with Allah, and the only solution for those problems they see is Ramadan. I have to ask myself, and everyone here has to ask themselves, how much have we asked Allah to deliver us to this month? Not out of convenience, not out of looking forward to the iftars and the reciters, but simply because we need this month to fix us, to get us right,